Good afternoon, all. We are delighted that you're joining us today for this wonderful occasion in the life of the university. First, I'd like to again recognize Dr. Frank Royal, who was chairman of the emeritus of our board of trustees, and who was one of the persons that encouraged me to come back to Richmond nearly 5 years ago. So I want Dr. Royal to know that we're making a lot of progress. We're doing a lot of things to move our university forward in nearly every dimension. Our academic programs, our student enrollment, and the things that we're doing here are just been outstanding. Virginia Union has a history of having some outstanding young athletes who are academic, strong, and doing things important. We've also had some outstanding coaches at our institution, coaches who've done marvelous things, and some coaches who stories really should be written about them because they've done so many things to advance the university for student athletes at our institution. At Union, we've seen things to grow. Our academic programs are getting stronger every day. Our student enrollment continues to grow as we enroll new students all the time. And our programs are getting expansive. So we're on an upswing at our institution. And today we are fortunate to add to the mix of outstanding persons who can further contribute to the growth and development of our young athletes and our athletic programs, not only for those students who participate, but the students who help pay for these programs to be offered at our institution. After searching and thinking about who's going to move us forward, it's very, very, very involved and very difficult to locate the right person to fit our historic institution. A person with the values that we have and the values that we share with our faculty and our students. It is important that we attract and recruit the right kind of people to support what we are doing and what we are all about. At Virginia Union, we produce leaders. We produce leaders in all fields of endeavor, but we expect of our students to make a contribution to their society, to their families, and we want them to be coached and led by people who share those values, that they are here for more than just themselves, but to improve the human condition as well. I'm so delighted and so fortunate to have rejoining the family here at Virginia Union, and the person of Mr. Joseph Joe Taylor. He is one of the few people I know that beat Eddie Robinson twice, and Eddie Robinson never beat him. The legendary Eddie Robinson. When he was here, he did an outstanding job for our institution, and everywhere he's been, he's brought intelligence, commitment, and a spirit of winning in the field of athletics and in the field of life. So it's indeed my pleasure to present to you and his wife our new athletic director for Virginia Union University, in the person of Mr. Joseph Taylor.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. My pleasure. And before I have Dr. Perkins to sit, I have a special presentation. For most of you all know that after 40 years of walking the sidelines, we decided to transition from coaching players to coaching coaches. And during that year, we were fortunate to put together a blueprint for those coming along. And I want to personally right now just give a copy to my new boss. And it's called The Making of a Champion, Success is an Inconvenience. And I want to give it to you.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I don't have any notes, so in fact, we don't need any. This is really a special day. I think it is divine. If you had to, put together a script It couldn't have turned out any better. My wife and I, Miss Beverly Taylor, would you please stand? 38 years, and I don't know how she stood me that long, to be honest with you, but 40 years of coaching, and of course, she's been there 38 of those years. But during that time, again, we've been just truly blessed to have been in my mind, one of the greatest professions in America, and that is coaching. It's an opportunity on a daily basis to influence lives in a real positive way. And we were blessed to do it for 40 years. But again, so many times in the Bible, the number 40 comes up. So when I reached my 40th, I guess it was pretty much written that we would transition from the sideline. Went and got a pedicure for the first time, and decided that, and what I've been doing all year is just moving around to different campuses, putting on workshops on structure, organization, how to maximize potential. And when this opportunity came, it was one that I could not turn down. There's some people still snipping, of course, saying that you need to come back to the sideline, and of course my wife is one of them. But just like I tell her, my thing now is to support and make sure that we can bring value to coaches and student athletes and the platform from which you operate. I've warned Dave already that if they can get me out of retirement, he better watch out. We might come back after him as well. Because it's guys like Dave Robbins who really kind of set the standard of what can happen here at Virginia Union. Of course, my good friend who passed not too long ago, Lou Hearn, national championship in basketball. So it's been proven what can happen here. And as I've said earlier with the staff, we understand that we're not coming here with all of the answers, but we will come with the blueprint. There is a process, and I've discovered a long time ago that when young people are having a good experience, they will show you on game day. Now, to me, that experience comes from four pillars. And I'm not saying where we are here in terms of the pillows, but we will be fighting every day. Everything we do will be student-athlete driven. And the idea is we always will be trying to create an atmosphere that is conducive to not only great competition, but ambassadors. Letting them understand that there's much more to them than a uniform rack. That they are ambassadors, that they represent something much bigger than who they are. And with that being the case, when we put these four pillars in place, again, I don't know where we are here, but we will be striving if we are not there. I guess if we were there, I wouldn't be standing here. So evidently there is some things that need to happen. First of all, you got to have good compliance people in place, because it's about educating young people to what is expected from the NC2A, from the CIAA, and from Virginia Union. We cannot assume that they understand what is expected. To wear these colors is a privilege, and you got to earn it. But we got to teach them what is their role. And that's through student athletic advisory councils, monthly meetings, educating them on what is expected of student athletes. There are rules in place, and they need to understand what the rules are. Second pillar, it's got to be academic support. If we are out giving scholarships, those are dollars. We need to be able to protect that investment. Freshmen have to become sophomores, sophomores, juniors, juniors, seniors, because that is what all coaches want, experience. They have to know each semester what is expected of them in the classroom. They don't build colleges for athletics. It's teaching, learning, and research. If you get that part straight, then everything else falls in line. They must understand that they're here to get that degree. They must know each semester what classes should be taken, and then monitored. There's no way that anybody should ever be ineligible because of a lack of academic progress. We need to have in place. And that's just not giving them a sheet saying go register. It's about having study hall, tutors to assure that they are matriculating towards graduation. One of the greatest days of my coaching career. 22 years ago, we left pretty much the same time. It was in December of 1991. We took a job down the road about 80 miles east on 64. But I made it a point to come back that spring of 1992. Why? There were 40 football players alone that was in that graduation class. That's what it is about. See, when guys don't graduate or young ladies don't graduate, they can't give back. Can't be in McDonald's talking about pledging. They need degrees. It helps them and it helps the university that prepared them. So you got to have that academic support. Thirdly, you got to have strength and conditioning. The expectation is that when you line up or when you're on that free throw line, that you're going to win. That's the expectation. And you got to be able to prepare the body, condition the body for the challenge. I always tell people, I've never gone to a Kentucky Derby and seen a donkey. It's about horses. And you got to show up. See, the game don't start during the fall. It starts in January. And that's when you are conditioning for when the curtain rises in September. And it's not just strength and conditioning in terms of muscle strength. It's about nutrition, understanding what to put in your body and what not to put into your body. And that's, see, insurance will go down. The cost will go down. Why? You have less injury. And then the idea of an All-American sitting behind a coach, that doesn't work. He needs to be playing, whether it's a basketball court or the football field. That's strength and conditioning. That's strength and conditioning. And we can point out some examples of the difference there. But the bottom line is you have to protect your investment. And the last part, even though you are in strength and conditioning, it is important to understand that muscle fatigue is a part of preparation. You must have a strong training or staff for trainers and rehabbing, because there is an expectation. Standing here, I understand what the expectation is. That's why I'm here, because I understand the expectation. But the bottom line is there is no magic. There is no magic, but there is a process. if you put the proper things in place, then what we all would love to see will be possible. And that does not mean every time something is needed, whether a coach come to me and say, Coach, I need this. Coach, I need this. Can you help me with this? That does not mean Coach Taylor go to the president and knock on his door. The community. This is your program. This is your university. There are projects that can be undertaken from all constituencies. And I don't know how many different booster clubs or organizations, but to me, and I heard a minister say this one time, you only got 2 teeth in your mouth, they look better together. So I would think that however many groups are out there to support, in fact, I saw a guy the other day, had 2 teeth, I didn't know where to smile or kick a field goal. So the idea, we just coming in to try and mobilize and energize and put in a process that I know works. Because again, for the last 40 years, I've been blessed to be in this very intense environment called athletics. And we have truly, truly enjoyed it. And as I come, again, we will be evaluating, assessing, and seeing just where we are. But every day, please know that our sleeves will be rolled up for one thing in mind, to making sure that everything we do is student-athlete driven, and that we are creating an environment that is conducive to performance at the highest level. Because it's guys like Dave Robbins that has already shown what can happen here. The great Willard Bailey has shown us. Lou Hearn has shown us. And I know some great things are going on now. Coach Johnson, my good friend, we go back. In fact, I coached her husband, so we go back a ways. In fact, I see a lot of faces in here that I'm very familiar with. And this thing got started, I guess, about 50 years ago, but I'm going to tell you a quick story, then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. There was a young lady sitting in here. When I went out for my football team when I was in high school, my mom was reluctant. She wasn't sure if I should do that. I have 2 other siblings. They were working, but I have an aunt that looked just like my mom. So I went to her and said, I need for you to sign this form so I can play. They didn't know no difference. They looked just alike. And because she signed it, I was able to, again, be a student athlete at the high school level, move on to Western Illinois, where I got my undergraduate, then went back to Eastern Illinois for my master's degree and, of course, coaching. But that young lady lives right here in Richmond. And she's here today. I'd like for my aunt, Miss Murray Ransom, to please stand. She started all of this a long time ago. And of course, my Uncle Eddie. Thank you all for being here. So with that in mind, that's where we are, and I don't know if this is the proper time to entertain Q&A or any questions.
I think because of the cameras, did you all want him to come to you, or are you coming up? How did you want to handle your microphone situation? Okay.
John Connor, let me
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
You haven't lost your way with words. Among your priorities, obviously, is going to be the identification of football criminals. Can you share your thoughts on where you are with that process, if it's started?
Well, we just coming in ourselves, first things first. But of course, with the advent of social media, a lot of things been out there. We do know that that is a priority. We do want the young men to know that players that rest assured that we were, and I called this my really first head coaching job, even though I was short stint up there as an interim at Howard. I was 33 years old and was very excited about this profession and getting some things done. We will be looking for some young candidates that understand that this is a people business, and you got to get into coaches for that reason. You're not in it for the big bucks, even though if you're Nick Saban, that's a different thing. But the bottom line is it's a people business, and we're going to be looking for people who care about young people and understand the game and are students of the game. Certainly, my phone has been blown off the hook. Different possibilities, but timetable. The key is sitting down with, Dr. Perkins, sitting down with the present staff, and we will be in a hurry, but we'll take our time because it has to be right. Because again, it's all about, the university and representing it in the right way. But we're not ready to reveal any names, but we understand that we have to hit the ground running. Any others?
Yeah, Coach, ready for sports talk. Two things. First off, congratulations on coming back.
Thank you.
What are some of the bowl games you might be looking at, like Ricky Young bowl in the past? Should we coach that leading this way? And also, elaborate when you talk about the community can be involved. How can the community be involved as far as helping the program?
Well, let's answer the second question first, because that's the most important. And that again is, there are, when you look around, down in Tallahassee, it's no happenstance that Jimbo Fisher is playing for the national championship on January 6th. He wanted to see his facilities improved. Well, he went out and the boosters, put together a $15 million indoor practice facility. Young people are very impressionable. They're going to compare what they see here with what they see with your competitors. And it's going to be important that we don't lose the game during the recruiting process. So facilities is always a paramount concern. And then as we look around, I'm talking about strength and conditioning coaches. I'm talking about, there are projects that we need to put in place with the trainers, weight room. If anybody ever known Joe Taylor, they know if we don't have some weights around, we're not very happy. All right, so so that can be a project. Scholarships is always a project, and pledging is not good. Pledging, when people pledge, usually by the time the check gets to the campus, a zero falls off. All right, we don't need pledges. We need real dollars, right? And the more people come and pledge and they give you a long sermon about, the longer the sermon, the less the money, okay? We need real dollars. So those are some things that, can take place so that, again, we're having a good experience with our young folks. We're having a good experience with our alumni. We're having a good experience with the community. Every time there's a basketball game or a football game or track meet, people need to have a good experience. They need to talk about in the barbershop. I used to tell my players all the time, if people are not in the barbershop getting a haircut, bragging about they can't wait to come see you, you're probably a bad investment, we can't have bad investments. We need and like I said before, there's no magic in this. But when everybody corral the energy and their talents, and of course talent in terms of funds, Then we can, I remember when Virginia Union used to be feared. Whether it was, I don't care what it was. You know, people didn't want to play Virginia Union. So we know that can happen because it has happened. Any other questions? Yes, okay.
I'm curious about the title of your book, especially Success is an Inconvenience. Why is success an inconvenience?
Well, that's a great question. The making of a champion, success is an inconvenience. I used to tell my players all the time that success cares nothing about how you feel. You know, a guy will come in and say, Coach, you know, I don't feel like practicing today. You know, I'm got an upset stomach or my leg is sore. Success don't care about how you feel. Success only cares about process. Did you do what was necessary to be successful? And when you understand that, only then do you have a chance to be successful. 5:30 a.m. workouts in a gym when it's frigid weather outside. That's what it takes. That's an inconvenience. You know, when people are asleep, you're listening to whistles blow. You're in the weight room, you're finding muscles that you didn't know you had because now they're sore. That's an inconvenience. But that's what success is based on. Doing those things that you don't feel like doing, but you know you have to be successful. And that don't change. Any others?
We're going to be moving over to the cameras, and they have some further questions. But first, I know that Dr. Perkins wants to present a gift to you and your wife. So would you please come up?
Thank you, Ms. Coombs. Well, we've already provided 2 gifts for them, but I wanted to pin them. This is the official seal of the university. There's ownership associated with the seal. So, Ms. Coombs, would you pin the wife for me and I?
Thank you. Thank you.
And
This is
kind of
really cool.
decide, tell you who you belong to now.
So you know who you belong to? These things are hard. There we go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming, everyone. We're going to step over and answer a few more media questions. Thank you.
Coach Taylor, Mark Davis, NBC 12 here in Richmond. Nice to meet you. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you, Coach?
Right.
Casadante with 2-6.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mitch, thank you. Thank you. Want me to help you out there?
It's a lot.
You've been retired for almost 2 years now. What did they say here to make you come back?
Well, actually, 1 year. Yeah.
It was January of 2012. wasn't it?
December 31st, 2012.
Okay. all
Actually,
right.
1 year.
1 year, all right.
Well, the bottom line is what they were asking is what I'm already doing, and I found myself moving around, speaking to different universities, athletic departments, giving workshops on leadership, So, you know, when this became available, it's really what I was doing. Instead of moving around the country doing it, I'll just be doing it at one place. But then there is an affinity because you've been here, you understand the tradition. So again, I think it's an outstanding opportunity, and we just feel good about it. We're really honored to be invited back.
What needs to be changed or fixed here, because you would not be standing here if there wasn't a problem? And you haven't been here long, but you know the university. What's the first order of business outside of getting a football field?
As I said, you know, those 4 pillars, to me, has to be in place. Now, is that to say whether or not it's in place or not? I'll be making that assessment. But the bottom line is, at some point, that must be in place if we are hoping to get to where everybody is expecting things to go. And we will be working to see what that is and where it is. But again, just coming in, I'm just not aware right now. But as I said, it's going to take not just people here on campus, but this community to embrace this tradition and make sure that we have a chance to get back to what we all are very proud of.
Of course, it's been a few years since you were here last, but how much have you kept your eye on the program since you left after the '91 season? How much do you keep your eye on things and follow Virginia Union?
Well, you know, I left 22 years ago, which is not a short time. But because you have players that graduated from here, played here, they stay in touch. And that's really been my source of staying in touch, just talking to the ex-players. And, you know, that's a good thing about this profession. You know, it is a people business. And there are a lot of people you never forget.
So, Coach, when can we expect your $15 million indoor practice facility?
We're going to be working every day towards it, I promise you. But, again, those are the things that, you know, it's no magic. You know, you got to be attractive. And if you are attractive because of the things that you're doing, the things you have in place. And the sooner we can, you know, become more attractive, then what everybody's looking for, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Is that a more attractive proposal to people because, as you said, and we've seen, it's been done before. You're not starting over from scratch here. You represent an era when it was done. Does your presence here now reinforce for others it is good to invest in VUU athletics again?
Well, again, the idea is to get folks energized, get them involved. Me coming back says that I think it can happen. And because I'm saying it, hopefully others will kind of get on board. And like I said, I told Dave now, you know, we might come call him because, boy, nobody did it better than him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.